What's up, ChocoLumpia Lessons Tribe? It is ChocoLumpia of ChocoLumpia Lessons, and I am, yes, wearing some gel eye thingies.
Woo!
I don't even know what are these called. This is non-spons, BT dubs. It's K Bella Professional Moisturizing Hydrogel Eye Masks. Non-spons, but I'm gonna try them out because I woke up today on my lovely day off and just felt like pampering myself whilst watching a horror film. Yep, we're gonna do a reaction, and it's to a classic horror story. It is a new, well, I don't know if it's really new. I think it came out in July, so I'm a month late. It's fine, cause life, but it's on Netflix, again, non-spons, unless Netflix, you wanna, yeah. It's supposed to be, already just watching the trailer, it's like highly inspired by, or maybe this person just really wanted to make an Italian version of Midsommar, but in a horror. Midsommar is horror, but it's kind of like, what's the one? I guess it's Cabin in the Woods. One of those 80s horror films. Sorry to the, film people if I'm getting that wrong. But it's it's like an old 80s horror film, and which are great. I'm not knocking those. Those are my fave. Mixed with Midsommar. And it's an Italian film. So there's going to be subtitles, and I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to react whilst enjoying my pampering. This movie looks like, okay, I tried it last night and the sun was going down and it started to get like really, well, it starts off pretty gruesome. So if you're not a fan of like gore, not that anyone's really a fan of gore, but you tend to like that style of film, you're gonna love it. I think I just wasn't in the mood to be stressed out. Not that you're ever in the mood for that. And I love how I use my day off to watch it then. Stupid. Anyways, whatever. I don't know. There's some kind of stress relief in watching a horror film, though. Those of you who watch horror films get it. Anyhow. This is going on way too long. I just wanted to intro this and tell you what you're watching when you see the reaction. So it's called A Classic Horror Story. It's on Netflix. It's a mixture of some type of Cabin in the Woods type film meets Midsommar. I haven't watched it yet. That's why I'm going to react to it now. I tried it last night and I wasn't in the mood. It seems like a lot. So I'm going to start it again and we're going to see how it goes. I'm not saying it's bad. I just I couldn't fully, Okay, so here we go. Oh, hey, hi. Okay, so don't judge me because I totally just opened up the Netflix app and then I saw the picture and I thought, oh my goodness, this looks really interesting. I want to watch it. So I really didn't have any information about the movie beforehand, which is great because it allowed me to go in blind and really just enjoy it. It was not what I expected and I loved that. Enjoy these stills. The confusion. The surprise. Do you guys laugh during horror films, or am I weird because this was my face? Okay, so I just watched the whole film, and I will say that I'm glad I tried again. There's so many layers to this. It's like, woo, And so first off, this movie is a classic horror story. It's on Netflix right now. It's directed by Roberto De Feo and Paolo Stripoli. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm trying my best. It's an Italian horror film. I'm looking at the info right now just to let you know. The description says, in this gruesome suspense film, strangers traveling in southern Italy become stranded in the woods where they must fight desperately to get out alive. Now, when I looked at kind of the info behind it, it had said, strong Midsommar vibes. I will say that it also has Hereditary vibes, so I'm assuming this director is a fan of, these directors actually are fans of many amazing filmmakers. This film, the cinematography is great. You can see the Hereditary vibes, you can see the Midsommar vibes, you can see the, I think anyone who appreciates films will really enjoy this movie. And if it's not something that they love, they will appreciate the references. So I think that these directors obviously are fans of Ari Aster, who I also am a fan of, A24. It's beautiful because it's in southern Italy, which is gorgeous. Makes me kind of question if I want to go to visit again. I've never been to the southern part. Yeah, but I've been wanting to because it's beautiful, but also this movie, you know, but I think any horror film that you watch that has to do with traveling and traveling alone also kind of messes with that idea or goal, okay? But so when it starts off, I'm not going to give anything away. I want to share so much. I would love to have a discussion about this in the comments, but I also don't want to give it away because there's so many layers to it. And I love films like that because it starts off as one thing, and I think what was irritating me was how obvious it felt. Like, it obviously felt like these directors were inspired by Ari Aster, which is great. And there's, you know, art is being inspired by a lot of different things. And what's really cool about art is you can see who is inspired by what. There's also that like thin line of copying or being a copycat, which is like really yucky and gross. And, you know, I hate to be like, as an artist, because like, what the fuck have I made? But as someone who likes to create dance or written word or just even these YouTube videos, and even this, like, there's so many layers to this movie. It's just so good. But as someone who creates, being able to appreciate other artists and other creators and their inspiration is really cool. It's really cool to see that. So it started off as one thing, and I will say that I had, you know, a good portion of it pegged, but there also was so much other stuff that I didn't really have pegged. And even to the very end, if you're like, the whole thing is just it's so, oh my God. And I don't want to give anything away. There were moments where I was like, is this gonna be kind of like Village-esque? And I was starting to get irritated, you know? But you have to like stick through it and watch the whole thing. I'm not saying that it's bad in the beginning or slow at all, but there's so many layers that slowly have to build. Like, to tell a story, you know, we're so used to TikTok being like, tell the whole story in 60 seconds or 30 seconds or 15 seconds. And that's sometimes hard or impossible to do, but people are like, well, you forgot to put this part of the information in, and you're like, it was a 15-second video. Like, how? Of course, you know, like, insert any amazing storyteller here. Tarantino, Scorsese, what's her name? I'm spacing on her name. I will put it here because I'm spacing on her name, but she makes amazing stories as well. You know, enter in all of those people. They could probably do a 15-second movie, but I mean, that's still so hard to have like all of the layers be incorporated, right? So this is kind of a slow build, but it's not even slow. It's an 1.5-hour film. Anyway, it's so good. I highly recommend it. I knew that it would be great because of the visuals, which is why I wanted to give it another shot and be in the correct mindset. There are a lot of flinchy parts. Flinchy, when I say flinchy, I mean like gory There's one scene in particular where I was like, oh, wow. You know, think Stephen King vibes. It's like, it's great. I think the main character is from another film that I watched, but I'm not sure. I have to Google it and find that information out. I do only miss Facebook for this reason, because this would be when I would join like a particular movie or film or book group and be able to actually chat about what that stuff meant and get other people's perspectives or takes on it, you know? Because I feel like when we all experience art, we experience it differently from each other because of our lives' experiences, because they're all different, which is the great thing about having discussions. And but I think she was in the movie Revenge. I'm not sure if it's actually her, because I thought that was a French film, but I'll research it. If you haven't seen that movie, this is a total tangent. Revenge is amazing. It's so good. It is gory as fuck, but it's so good. And it is not a similar story, but it's just, you have to just watch it. But I highly recommend it. It's a good one. If you're not a horror person, it might get a little bit lost on you, only because they're rude. My camera just shut off. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real short. Then, yeah, if you aren't a horror stan, then some of the old references to horror, classic horror, might get lost on you. That's okay. I think you can still enjoy it. I think those were all of my thoughts. I do highly recommend it. Just stick with it. It's got the typical horror breakdown. So yeah, it's in the music, and it's just the costuming. Yeah, it's really great. I'm a huge fan of sets, because when I was in college, we had to do practicum, and I really wanted costume design, and I didn't get to go into costume design, which I'm also obsessed with, but I ended up having to do set design. And I was kind of bummed out about it in the beginning, but then once I got into it, I appreciate and love set design. And so any movie that I watch, I'm always looking at set, props, location, and this one delivered with that respect. So yeah, watch it. It's good. Okay, I've talked enough about it. Go watch. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing, liking, commenting, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.